I thought we've gone past Manchester yet. I mean,
Nah, we're not past many yet. Probably it's 1 hour to Manchester.
4 men, 3 peaks, 2 slides, 1 challenge. 2 tablespoons of garlic, 1 teaspoon of pepper. Oi, what are you doing? Oh, just wasting time because I didn't get much content on the actual video. We'll wrap it up and get back to work. Roger that. And so we began our journey. Actually, scratch that. Let me explain what's going on. So the challenge is to climb the highest mountains in Scotland, England and Wales. The catch? All in under 24 hours. I also got a little sidetracked down the map rabbit hole, so here's an interesting one about median income. But getting back to the point with another fancy map, we can see the areas of high altitude where Scafell Pike, Ben Nevis and Snowdon need to be aligned with this map right here. 2 of the brothers came from London all the way up to Stoke to pick me and my friend up. We then went from here all the way up to Scotland. So from London to Stoke was like probably 3 hours, and then from Stoke to Scotland where we were going to stay the night, that was like 7.5 hours away. Of course we made the occasional stops, and the further north we went, the darker it became. I mean seriously, it was dark. Finally we had reached our lodge at ye old Glen Tarbet, and it was time to get some well needed rest before a busy day. Oh, and here's a quick tour. Not bad, right? After we unpacked, we sat around for a bit just to chat. This was about 13 hours before we'd start our actual challenge. The next morning we were packed and ready. Every daunting mountain I saw I assumed was Ben Nevis, so that wasn't very nice. And to be honest, in Scotland, all these mountains are just so big and daunting. We then left and made our way directly to Ben Nevis where we were going to start the challenge. And just like the only inevitability in life is death, there's always inevitably a McDonald's close by. So with our stomachs full and our car running on empty, it was time to make the move. The views up in the Highlands are great. No matter where you are, you feel like you can stop and take a great picture. The London brothers were doing side missions, they had a drone, and it was pretty cool to see them getting to work. We then drove past another mountain and I was like, damn, these really are daunting. Finally, we were at the base and we were ready to go. I'd also like to give a big shout out to the Hussein Foundation and Greenbird Apparel for sponsoring this challenge. And so the 24-hour 3 Peaks challenge began. The obvious key was to keep moving and to move at a good pace, but that's when the first disaster struck. About halfway up the mountain, my fellow friend's entire outsole came off, and his other shoe was starting to rip and crumble away too. And with wet weather on the way, it wasn't looking good. And that's when the second disaster struck. This wasn't much of a disaster, my cardio just wasn't ready for this challenge and I was lagging far behind. Because I was a slowpoke, I wasn't really allowed any breaks, so it was hard for me to get footage, but some of the footage that was captured was amazing. The summit of Ben Nevis just feels like a different planet. You're way above the dead zone and everything's foggy. And with the sun starting to set and the rain starting to pick up, it was time for a dark and dreary way down. Unfortunately, I didn't get much footage of the way down because I was in a rush, because we were delayed, because not only was I out of breath, but my friend next to me was barefoot. But nevertheless, with one mountain down and some fresh boots, we were ready to go again. From Ben Nevis in Scotland, we then drove down to Scafell Pike in England, which was about 5 hours. But not only was I a liability again, I didn't even get close to scaling this one. But they sent me some videos and I got to enjoy it through their lens. You can pity me all you want, but this is a 24-hour challenge and I don't want to be responsible for the team failing. The brothers that went scaled this mountain nicely. They made up for lost time on Ben Nevis and gave us some good time for Snowdon as well. We were then back on the road heading from Scafell Pike to Snowdon, which is basically England to Wales. Luckily we were blessed with perfect weather and some lovely sunny spells. The 24-hour timer ends when you reach the top of the 3rd peak. Cardio aside, I was determined to make it to the top. But again, things got pretty lonely pretty quickly as I started to lag behind again. The clear sky made for perfect views at Snowdon, but I just didn't have the time to take them all in. Finally though, with my friends already there, I managed to reach the top and bring an end to the 3 Peaks challenge. And after a painful journey down, it was time to head back home and call it a day. Our bodies were pretty battered, but we were still in good spirit. Throughout the entirety of this challenge, we had a fundraiser going and managed to successfully raise £10,000. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video more than I enjoyed doing this challenge. Thanks for watching and take care. Peace.